तू ऐसे आए जैसे कोई दुआ। कैसा है रिश्ता तेरा मेरा, बेचेहरा फिर भी कितना गहरा। ये लम्हे ये रेशम से, तुझसे ही नाराज हूँ मैं सीने में जो कहीं पे दबी। तुझसे ही नाराज हूँ मैं सीने में जो कहीं पे दबी है। ऐसी कोई आवाज हूँ मैं, सुन ले मुझे तू बिन कहे। कब तक खामोशी दिल सहे।
तू ही है किनारा तेरा, तू ही तो सहारा तेरा, तू ही है तराना का, तू ही तो फसाना करता। खुद पे यकीन तू करना बनना तू अपना खुदा। तू ही है किनारा तेरा, तू ही तो सहारा तेरा, तू ही है तराना का, तू ही तो फसाना करता। खुद पे यकीन तू करना बनना तू अपना खुदा।
क्योंकि तुम ही हो, अब तुम ही हो जिंदगी, अब तुम ही हो।
चैन भी मेरा दर्द भी मेरी आशिकी, अब तुम ही हो।
कोई तो राह वो होगी जो मेरे घर को आती है। करो पीछा सदाओं का, सुनो क्या कहना चाहती है। तेरी चाहतों में कितना तड़पे हैं, सावन भी कितने तुझ बिन बरसे हैं।
जिंदगी में मेरी सारी जो भी कमी थी, तेरे आ जाने से अब नहीं रही।
आसान नहीं यहाँ आशिक हो जाना, पलकों पे कांटों को सजाना। आशिक को मिलती है गम की सौगातें, सबको ना मिलता ये खजाना। हर खता की होती है कोई ना कोई सजा। हम लिखे हो किस्मत में तो बन ही जाती वजह। काफिला वक्त का रोक ले, अब दिल से जुदा ना हो। सुन रहा है ना तू, रो रहा हूँ मैं। सुन रहा है ना तू, यूं रो रहा हूँ मैं। खिलेंगी जहाँ बाहर सभी, मुझे तो वहाँ पाएगा। रहेगी जहाँ हमारी वफा, मुझे तो वहाँ पाएगा। तू मेरी नींदों में सोता है, तू मेरे अश्कों में रोता है। सरदोशी सी है ख्यालों में, तू ना हो फिर भी तू होता है। तेरा मेरा रिश्ता
तुझे जीना है मेरे बिना। सफर ये है तेरा, ये रास्ता तेरा, तुझे जीना है मेरे बिना।
इन हाथों में जब से है आया ये हाथ तुम्हारा, जैसे दरिया की हलचल को मिल जाए कोई किनारा। तुम्हारे संग आवारगी भी देती है जैसे सुकून। तुम्हारे संग हर एक लम्हा यादें नहीं मैं भूलूं। तुम हो तो सुबह नहीं है, तुम हो तो शाम हंसी है। एक दुनिया सपनों सी है, तुम हो तो इस बेयकीन है। तुम हो तो सब अच्छा है, तुम हो तो वक्त थमा है। तुम हो तो ये लम्हा है, तुम हो तो इसमें सदा है।
न जाने से हम कब हंसे थे, हम वैसे ही बेसबब जी रहे थे। मेरी ये दुआएं सुनने किसी ने, लगता है सच में खुदा है। ऐसे तो कोई भी मिलता कहाँ है जैसे मुझको तो मिला। तुम्हारे संग जो भी मिला है, अब एक पल भी खोना नहीं है मुझे।
तुम्हारे संग रातों में जग के देखूं तुम्हें, बस सोना नहीं है मुझे। तुम हो तो सब अच्छा है, तुम हो तो वक्त थमा है। तुम हो तो ये लम्हा है, हाँ इसमें ही तो सदा है।
Some things belong on the big screen. Watch YouTube on your TV.
धड़कन तक तेनू रसता दिया सजना, तू ता सारे दिल ते कब्जा करके बैठ गया। अब नहीं कदी दिल ता यकीन कर पाएगी, तू ता इश्क ही ठग बैठा सजना। जा रांझण तू भी क्या याद रखेगा, जाहिर ने तेनू छोड़ दिया। जा रांझण तू भी क्या याद रखेगा, जाहिर ने तेनू छोड़ दिया।
ऐसे ना जाओ पिया, जुड़ी है राहें सारी तुझसे मेरी। ऐसे ना जाओ पिया, ऐसे ना जाओ पिया, जुड़ी है राहें सारी तुझसे मेरी। जाना झड़ तू भी क्या याद रखेगा, जाहिर न तेनू छोड़ दिया।
लख समझाऊं मैं तो दिल समझ नहीं पाता, मांगे तेरी खैरिया। सोना था तेरा वे झूठा, रंग 2 दिनों में छूटा, कैसे भुलाऊं बैरिया। रांझण तू भी क्या याद रखेगा, जाहिर ने तेनू छोड़ दिया। रांझण तू भी क्या याद रखेगा, जाहिर ने तेनू छोड़ दिया।
Cheers.
कलिया उठ के नचते सही।
ऐसे ना जाओ पिया, जुड़ी है राहें सारी तुझसे मेरी। ऐसे ना जाओ पिया, ऐसे ना जाओ पिया, जुड़ी है राहें सारी तुझसे मेरी।
अमृतेश्वरी हॉल। Namah Shivaya. Check. Check. Namah Shivaya. Hello. Check. Check. Namah Shivaya. Check. check. Hello. Hello. Check. Hello.
Om Amriteshwarye Namaha. Let us begin the event on an auspicious note. We invite our dignitaries on stage to please light the lamp, and I request the audience to please rise for the lighting of the lamp, followed by the prayer. Swamiji and the dignitaries, please. And industry leaders from across the globe. With a center theme, experiential learning, inclusiveness, and sustainable innovations, ICSRF 2025 aims to foster meaningful dialogue and collaboration, bridging knowledge and practice to address some of the most pressing sustainability challenges of our times. To join us in inaugurating the conference, we have with us some very special guests whom we would like to formally introduce and welcome. To deliver the formal welcome address, I would like to call upon the program chair, Dr. Manisha V. Ramesh, who is the provost of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Dean, School for Sustainable Futures, the Director, Center for Wireless Networks and Applications, and the UNESCO Chair on Experiential Learning. Over to you, ma'am.
Om Amriteshwarye Namaha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Sri Amriteshwarye Namaha, तस्मै श्री अमृतेश्वर्यै नमः तस्मै श्री अमृतेश्वर्यै नमः My humble pranams at Amma's lotus feet. My humble pranams to each of you. Respected Sambhujya Swami Purnamritananda Puri, Dr. Tim Curtis, Srimati Uma Mahadevan Das Gupta, Sri Shaji KV, Dr. P. Ajit, Dr. Bipin Nair, and Dr. Ravi Shankar. My humble pranams to each one of you on and off the dais. A heartfelt welcome to one and all to the International Conference on Sustainable and Resilient Futures, Bridging Science, Policy and Practice, ICSRF 2025. ICSRF 2025 centers on the theme Experiential Learning, Inclusiveness and Sustainable Innovations. Organized by the UNESCO Chair on Experiential Learning for Sustainable Innovation and Development, the Amrita School for Sustainable Futures, the International Network of Sustainable and Resilient Futures, SUSTAIN. This conference aims to foster a dialogue and collaboration among researchers, scientists, policymakers, practitioners, and industry leaders to tackle global sustainable challenges. Amrita Vidyapeetham, under the visionary leadership of our Chancellor, Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, has always strived to impart education for life and education for living, and to address global challenges through compassion-driven research. Amma's vision gave rise to the Living Labs program, a transformative ecosystem where students and faculty co-design sustainable solutions with communities, ensuring long-term ownership, sustainability, and resilience. This very model inspired UNESCO to award Amrita the UNESCO Chair on Experiential Learning for Sustainable Innovation and Development in 2020. Since then, our work has touched over 2,200 communities involving multi-stakeholder collaborations through Chowpals, rural internships, student projects, doctoral research, etc. The insights from these initiatives have paved the way for ICSRF 2025, envisioned as a platform to create knowledge societies, global networks, and clusters of excellence. This conference is structured around 9 interlinked tracks: climate action and disaster risk reduction, sustainable agriculture and food security, health and digital healthcare innovations, equitable education, cultural heritage and traditional knowledge, circular economy and net zero strategies, sustainable livelihood and economic resilience, governance and global SDG impact, data-driven sustainability and emerging technologies, integrated action for the SDGs. Each track represents not merely an academic pursuit, but a lifeline to our shared future, reminding us that sustainability is not a choice, it is a necessity. We are also happy to let you know that we have 5 panels focusing on recalibrating the role of sustainability professionals, embedding sustainability in education, research and practice, empowered investments, leveraging finance for sustainable development, navigating sustainability within the startup system, from policy to impact, driving sustainability through multi-stakeholder initiatives. Roundtable on investments for innovation, 3 workshops focusing on pathway to net zero, implementing sustainable strategies in your organization, International Water Association's Lake and Reservoir Management Specialist Group Symposium, geospatial analysis using Google Earth Engine for remote sensing and agriculture, 3 tutorials focusing on geospatiality in livelihood system and multidimensional poverty, systems thinking and rural development, nature of publications, and NGO conclave and hackathons. In all these things, I hope each of you will take the opportunity to participate and leverage the experience, leverage expertise, and build collaborations and networks. With over 700 plus participants from more than 30 countries and 80 distinguished speakers, members from UNESCO, UNESCAP, NABARD, government, academia, industry, and civil society, the conference is set across a vibrant background. Let me welcome the dignitaries who have graced this occasion. It gives me great honor to extend a very special welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Tim Curtis, Director of UNESCO New Delhi Regional Office for South Asia and UNESCO representative to Bhutan, India, and Maldives and Sri Lanka. For over 23 years, Dr. Curtis has served UNESCO in the culture sector in various capacities, including as the Chief of Section of the Living Heritage Entity and Secretary of the 2003 Convention of the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage. We are deeply privileged to have you with us, sir. On behalf of our Chancellor and the UNESCO Chair on Experiential Learning for Sustainable Innovation and Development, we welcome you, sir. We are privileged to welcome our guest of honor, Srimati Uma Mahadevan Dasgupta, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary and Development Commissioner, Government of Kerala. With over 3 decades of distinguished service at both the center and the state, she has led key portfolios including women and child development, agriculture, education, and health and family welfare, bringing visionary leadership and impactful reforms across sectors. It is an honor to have you with us today, ma'am. On behalf of our Chancellor Amma and the UNESCO Chair on Experiential Learning for Sustainable Innovation and Development, we welcome you, ma'am. We are honored to welcome Mr. Shaji KV, Chairman of the National Bank of Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD. With over 3 decades of leadership in commercial banking, development finance, and rural banking, he has been instrumental in strengthening India's financial and agricultural landscape. A visionary leader with national and international contributions, his work continues to shape sustainable finance and rural development in India. On behalf of our Chancellor Amma and the UNESCO Chair on Experiential Learning for Sustainable Innovation and Development, we welcome you, sir. We are honored to welcome Sambhujya Swami Purnamrutanandapuri, General Secretary of Mata Amritanandamayi Mutt, an engineer by training and former research scientist at the Raman Research Institute. Swamiji embodies Amma's message of selfless love and compassion, inspiring people across generations through his discourses, flute meditation, and personality development camps. Pranams to Swamiji and a hearty welcome to Sambhujya Swamiji. We are honored to welcome Dr. P. Ajit Kumar, Registrar of Amrita Vidyapeetham. He brings over 33 years of rich experience spanning teaching, research, academic, administration, industry leadership. His experience as Vice Chancellor and Pro-Vice Chancellor also brings in a dynamic vibe in the university. A warm welcome to you, sir. We are honored to welcome Dr. Bipin Nair, Dean of Amrita School of Biotechnology. Dr. Nair has led pioneering work in biomedical devices, diagnostics, and natural product drug discovery. Dr. Nair is leading the School of Life Sciences, looking and taking care of the School of Biotechnology. On behalf of our Chancellor, we warmly welcome you, sir. We are honored to welcome Dr. Ravish Shankar M, Principal of Amrita School for Sustainable Futures, with over 3 decades of academic and research leadership. He has contributed extensively in marine instrumentation, optoelectronics, and sustainability-driven innovations. On behalf of Chancellor and Amma, the UNESCO Chair, we warmly welcome you, sir. On behalf of Amrita Vidyapeetham, I also extend my warmest welcome to all distinguished speakers, researchers, policymakers, practitioners, and participants. At Amrita, we believe in leading by example. Sustainability is not just a topic for conference, it is a living practice woven into the fabric of our campuses and extended into the communities we serve. Guided by Amma's vision, we have embraced holistic approaches that integrate science, technology, and human values in addressing the pressing challenges of our time. One of our proudest achievements is working with more than 2,200 communities and deploying sustainable solutions for water and sanitation, health and well-being, agriculture and food, livelihood systems, energy and environment, skill development, disaster management and resilience, education, etc. Since 2007, Amrita University has contributed to sustainability measured by rainwater harvesting across 60,000 meter square rooftop stores of 24 million trees with 16 check dams and 3 STPs recycling 1.3 million liters daily. A no septic tank policy keeps water channels clean. Energy initiatives include 2 megawatt solar, water heating, LED lighting, and sensor-based systems, generating 5.6 lakh units annually and offsetting 300 plus tons of carbon dioxide. Carpooling in 2022 cut 16.5 kilometers of travel, conserving fuel and emissions. Waste is managed through segregation, composting, biogas incineration, while circular economy projects like Saukyam pads, organic farming, and recycle projects advance our vision of a net zero waste campus. What makes our journey unique is that sustainability at Amrita is not limited to infrastructure or technology. It is rooted in education, participation, and values. Sustainability knowledge is integrated into our curriculum, ensuring that every student becomes a stakeholder in change. Faculty, researchers, and communities collaborate hand in hand, transforming sustainability into shared responsibility and lived experience. This very conference is a milestone in that journey. With the support of HCP and DMB, we are working towards making it India's first carbon neutral sustainability conference, addressing scope 1, 2, and 3. Through energy efficiency, waste reduction, and carpooling, we have minimized our footprint, and through offset strategies, we will balance the unavoidable emissions. We hope this effort inspires many more such initiatives across India and beyond. Amrita's research philosophy is rooted in science with a heart. With 11 campuses, 19 schools, 30 plus research centers, 250 academic programs, 2,400 faculty, 30,000 students, 300 plus international MOUs, etc., has emerged as a global leader in higher education. We have more than 20,000 plus publications and also more than 28 faculty as world's top 2% in Stanford University. 2% scientist. And NAC has awarded us the highest grade of A++, and the NIRF 2024, we proudly stand 7th among all universities in India. As we embark on this journey over the next few days, I encourage you all to engage wholeheartedly, collaborate across disciplines, and innovate with purpose. Let this conference not end with discussions, but translate into real-world impact, building sustainable and resilient futures for all. I would like to end with Amma's quotes. Compassion is the most important factor in our lives. It is the first step. If we take this first step courageously, without fear, then all of our decisions and subsequent actions and their results will have a special beauty, spontaneity, and power. In our approach to sustainable development, we should not forget that it is by strengthening the people at the base of the pyramid that the entire edifice of society becomes healthy and strong. This would be like gold becoming fragrant. Once again, I welcome all of you. I request all of you to engage, build networks, and also see there is also a village experience area created in the main campus. I wish all of you will engage and collaborate in this process. Thank you all. Welcome you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manisha, for the welcome address. And now we have a special message from our most beloved Chancellor, Amma. Through Amrita University, Amma has touched and transformed countless lives, inspiring all to give more than what they receive. Guiding the university's journey with her vision of compassion, Amma has nurtured its growth since the very beginning and in all dimensions. I kindly request all of you to turn your attention to the main screen, where Amma shares her words of wisdom and blessings on this momentous occasion.
ബ്രഹ്മസ്വരൂപണം ആത്മസ്വരൂപങ്ങളായിരിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. മാനവരാശി പലതരത്തിലുള്ള വെല്ലുവിളികൾ നേരിടുകയാണ്. ഒരുപക്ഷെ പ്രത്യക്ഷത്തിൽ കാണാനും അറിയാനും കഴിയുന്നതിനേക്കാൾ ഏറെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ സൂക്ഷ്മതലത്തിലുണ്ടായേക്കാം. ഈ അവസരത്തിൽ മനുഷ്യന് രണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് പ്രധാനമായി ഉണ്ടാകേണ്ടത്: തിരിച്ചറിവും തിരുത്താനുള്ള മനസ്സുമാണാവാം. നിർഭാഗ്യവശാൽ പരീക്ഷയുടെ തലേദിവസം പഠിക്കാനുണ്ടാകുന്ന കുട്ടികളെ പോലാണ് മനുഷ്യൻ. കാര്യങ്ങൾ കൈവിട്ടു പോകും എന്ന അവസ്ഥ എത്തുമ്പോഴാണ് മനുഷ്യന് നല്ല ബുദ്ധി വന്നത്. അപ്പോഴാണ് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ചിന്തിക്കുന്നത്. ഭാവലോകം സിംഗിളിൻ്റേതല്ല, മിങ്കിളിൻ്റേതാണ്. സിംഗിളാകാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്ന രാജ്യങ്ങളും സമൂഹങ്ങളും താഴോട്ട് പോകും. ഇത് പ്രകൃതി മനുഷ്യനെ നൽകിയ താക്കീതാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് സിംഗിളല്ല, മിങ്കിളാണ് നമ്മുടെ മന്ത്രം. മനുഷ്യന് ചില സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, അതനുസരിച്ച് അവന് ജീവിക്കാം. പക്ഷെ ഓരോരുത്തരും അവന് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള ടി വി ചാനൽ മാറ്റുന്ന പോലെ പ്രകൃതി നിയമങ്ങളെ മാറ്റാൻ സാധിക്കുകയില്ല. എല്ലാത്തിനും ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുക എന്നാണ് പ്രകൃതിയുടെ ഈശ്വരൻ്റെയും നയം. പുറന്തള്ളുക എന്നുള്ളത് മനുഷ്യന്റെ നയം. ലോകജീവിതം നയിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവരും ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുക എന്ന പ്രപഞ്ച നിയമം അനുസരിച്ച് മതിയാവും. മനുഷ്യൻ അവന്റെ പുറന്തള്ള നിയമം അടിച്ചേൽപ്പിക്കാൻ ശ്രമിച്ചാൽ അവസരവും അവശ്രുതിയും ഉണ്ടാവും. മനുഷ്യൻ പ്രപഞ്ചഘടനയിൽ കടന്നുകയറിന്റെ ഫലമാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ അനുഭവിക്കുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് പരിസ്ഥിതി മാറ്റുന്നതിനൊപ്പം മനസ്ഥിതിയും മാറ്റാൻ ശ്രമിക്കണം. ലോകത്തിൽ 2 തരത്തിലുള്ള ദാരിദ്ര്യം ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറയും. ഒന്ന് ആഹാരവും ഭക്ഷണവും കടപ്പാടവും കിട്ടാതെ ദാരിദ്ര്യം അനുഭവിക്കുന്നത്. 2 സ്നേഹവും കാരുണ്യവും കിട്ടാതെ ദാരിദ്ര്യം അനുഭവിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ സ്നേഹവും കാരുണ്യവും നമ്മളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇവരെയും നമുക്ക് രക്ഷിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും എന്നുള്ള അതാണ് നമ്മൾ വളർത്തിയെടുക്കേണ്ടത്. അതിനാണ് ഈ നമ്മുടെ സംസ്കാരത്തിൽ അധ്യാത്മ മൂല്യങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ടുവരണം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ശാസ്ത്ര സാങ്കേതികതയുള്ള കുതിച്ചുകയറ്റവും ഇന്റർനെറ്റിന്റെ ദുരുപയോഗവും അതുപോലെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളിൽ പടർന്നു പഠിക്കുന്ന ലഹരി വസ്തുക്കൾ, ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടി ഒരു സങ്കുചിതമായ പരിസ്ഥിതിയാണ് ഇന്നുള്ളത്. അതാണ് സാങ്കേതികതയുടെ കാര്യമെടുക്കുക. അത് മനുഷ്യ ജീവിതത്തിൽ വലിയ പരിവർത്തനം സൃഷ്ടിച്ചു. പക്ഷെ അതിന്റെ ദോഷവസ്ഥയെ കുറിച്ച് ചിന്തിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഭാവിയെപ്പറ്റി ഭയം തോന്നുന്നു. മനസാക്ഷി മൂല്യബോധം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു പുതിയ തലമുറ ഇവിടെ വളർന്നു വരുന്നു. അതുകൊണ്ട് എന്താ പല രൂപത്തിലും അക്രമങ്ങൾ വരുന്നു. സാങ്കേതികതയുടെ പ്രയോജനം വളരെ വലുതാണ്. മനുഷ്യന്റെ ജീവിത സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ വർദ്ധിച്ചു, അപ്പം സാങ്കേതികതയുടെ ദുരുപയോഗവും വർദ്ധിച്ചു, അപകടങ്ങളും വരും. അതുകൊണ്ട് പുതിയ കണ്ടുപിടുത്തങ്ങൾ മനുഷ്യരെത്തിക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പേ അതിൻ്റെ ദോഷവസ്ഥയെക്കുറിച്ച് ആഴത്തിൽ പഠിക്കണം. പുതിയ കണ്ടുപിടുത്തങ്ങൾ പുതിയ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ സൃഷ്ടിക്കും. അത്തരം പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ സമൂഹത്തിൽ നിരന്തര തലവേദനയാകുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് അതിൻ്റെ പ്രതിവിധികൾ കണ്ടെത്തണം. അപകട സാധ്യതയെക്കുറിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കണം. ലോകത്തിൽ നല്ലതും ചീത്തയായ അനുഭവങ്ങളുണ്ടാകും. രണ്ടും ആത്മപരിശീലനത്തിനുള്ള അവസരമായി നമ്മൾ എടുക്കണം. പല നിറത്തിലും ആകൃതിയിലുള്ള പുഷ്പങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ട് കൊടുത്ത മനോഹരമായ ഒരു പൂമാല പോലെയാണ് ലോക ജനത. നാനാത്വവും വൈരുദ്ധ്യവും അതിൻ്റെ സൗന്ദര്യവും സൗരഭ്യമാണ്. ഇവയുടെ ആരോഗ്യമായൊരു മേളനം മനുഷ്യ സംസ്കാരത്തിന് ആവശ്യമാണ്. ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു രാഷ്ട്രത്തിനോ വംശത്തിനോ മതത്തിനോ മാത്രമായി ഈ ലോകത്ത് നിലനിൽപ്പില്ല. കാരണം ഈ ഭൂമി എല്ലാവർക്കും വേണ്ടിയുള്ളതാണ്. നമ്മൾ 10 വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് തന്നെ തുടങ്ങിയതാണ് ഗ്രാമങ്ങൾ. ഏറ്റെടുത്താൽ ചില ഗ്രാമം ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഗോതമ്പ് കൃഷി ചെയ്യുന്നവരായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഗോതമ്പ് മാത്രമാണ് അവർ കഴിക്കുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് അവർക്ക് ഇമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി കുറവാണ്, ഇങ്ങനെ രോഗങ്ങൾ കണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ ഇവർക്ക് അതിൽ നിന്ന് കുറച്ച് ഗോതമ്പ് കുറ്റി പച്ചക്കറി വാങ്ങിക്കായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷെ അവർ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഈ പ്രകൃതി നിയമങ്ങൾ മാറിയത് അവർ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നില്ല. അവർ സാധാരണ പോലെ കൃഷി ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഇപ്പം മഴ കിട്ടാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് അവർ കൃഷി കിട്ടിയില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവർ പട്ടിണി കിടക്കുകയാണ്. ഇവരാണ് പുറത്തുനിന്ന് ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് പോകത്തുമില്ല. പ്രശ്നം മഴ സംഭരണി എന്നുള്ളത് അവിടെ ഇല്ല. പക്ഷെ ഗവൺമെൻറ് അനുവദിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷെ ഇത് ഇവർക്ക് മേടിക്കാനോ മറ്റുള്ളവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കി കൊടുക്കാനോ ഇത് പറ്റുന്നില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് അവർക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടാ. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ മഴ സംഭരണി ചെയ്ത് കൊടുത്തപ്പോൾ കൃഷി ചെയ്ത് പരിജീവിച്ച്. ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ വെള്ളം കിട്ടാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട്, പാവൻ വെള്ളമൊക്കെ കുടിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പം അവർക്ക് കോളറ പോലുള്ള മറ്റസുഖങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായി. അപ്പം നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? നമ്മൾ തന്നെ കുളത്തിലുണ്ടാക്കിയൊരു മിഷനുണ്ട്. അപ്പം അത് വെച്ചിട്ടാകുമ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഗ്രാമങ്ങളിൽ ജീവാമൃതം എന്നുള്ള പ്രൊജക്റ്റ് വെള്ളത്തിനെ കൊണ്ട് വയ്ക്കാറുണ്ട്. അതിനുശേഷം അവർക്ക് അങ്ങനെയുള്ള അസുഖങ്ങൾ അവർക്ക് കുറഞ്ഞു കിട്ടും. ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ ചെന്നപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് രാവിലെ ഒരു വെള്ളത്തിന് പോയാൽ എത്രയോ കിലോമീറ്റർ താണ്ടി വേണം ഒരു കുടം വെള്ളം കിട്ടാൻ. അപ്പോൾ വെള്ളത്തിന് പോകാൻ അവർക്ക് സമയമുള്ളൂ, പുറത്ത് ജോലിക്ക് പോകാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അപ്പോൾ അവർക്കും കഷ്ടമായി ഒരു കുടം വെള്ളത്തിന്. നമ്മളവിടെ ബോർവെൽ ഇതാക്കി കൊടുത്തപ്പോൾ വെള്ളം കിട്ടി. പക്ഷെ അടുത്തുള്ളവർ കണ്ടവാനം എടുത്ത് നശിപ്പിക്കും. ദൂരമുള്ളത് വീണ്ടും അങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അവർ വളരെ സത്യം എടുക്കും. അതുകൊണ്ട് അതെങ്കിലും ബോർവെയിൽ സ്ഥാപിച്ചു കൊടുത്താൽ കുറച്ച് നടുക്കായിട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പം അവർ വേസ്റ്റ് കളയില്ല. വേസ്റ്റ് കളയാതിരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ പുതിയൊരു പദ്ധതി തയ്യാറാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പം ചിലയിടത്ത് കറണ്ട് വന്നു, പക്ഷെ വോൾട്ടേജ് കുറവാണ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് അവർക്ക് ഫലമില്ല. നമ്മൾ തന്നെ ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ ചെറിയ ചെറിയ ലൈറ്റുകൾ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. നമ്മൾ ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ സോളാർ വെച്ച് കൊടുത്തു. അപ്പം അവർക്ക് ഇമ്പ്രൂവ് ഉണ്ട്. ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ നദിയിൽ നിന്ന് തന്നെ കറണ്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കി അവർക്ക് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലായിടത്തും ഈ ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ വേണ്ട കോടിക്കണക്കിന് രൂപ ചിലവാണ്. ചിലപ്പോൾ അത്രയൊക്കെ പൈസ കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഇത്രയും ഗ്രാമങ്ങളിൽ സോളാർ വെക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും. അത് വെക്കുന്നത് നല്ലതായിരിക്കും. വെച്ചു കൊടുക്കുന്നത് ഓരോരുത്തർ ദത്തെടുത്തിട്ടോ അല്ല ഗവൺമെൻറ്റോ വെച്ചു കൊടുക്കുന്നത് നന്നായിരിക്കും. ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ ചെന്നപ്പോൾ അവിടെ പശുവിനെ കൊണ്ടാണ് ജീവിക്കുന്നത്. അവരുടെ പാല് വാങ്ങിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പോകും പകുതി വിലയ്ക്ക്. ഇവർ രാപകലില്ലാന്ന് ജോലി ചെയ്യും. പക്ഷെ ഇവരെല്ലാം എല്ലുപോലെയും അത്ര വിശപ്പിന് പോലും ഭക്ഷണം കഴിക്കാൻ അവർക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. നമ്മൾ ഇടപെട്ട് നടുക്ക് വെച്ച് അവർക്ക് വേറെ രീതിയിൽ പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുത്തപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് പൈസ കിട്ടി, നല്ല പണക്കാരെ പോലെ ആയപ്പം. പക്ഷെ ഇത് ഗവൺമെൻറ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ ഇവരിലെത്തിയിട്ടില്ല. അതാണ് കാര്യം. പക്ഷെ ഇപ്പോഴും അതേപോലെ ചില ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒരേ മുറിയുള്ളു, പക്ഷെ 4, 5, 6, 7 4 ക്ലാസ്സിൽ പഠിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികൾ ഒരു റൂമിലിരിക്കുകയാണ്. തെക്കോട്ടും വടക്കോട്ടും കിഴക്കോട്ടും പടിഞ്ഞാട്ടും നോക്കിയിരിക്കുക. ഇവരെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സാറായി അവർക്ക് ശരിക്കുള്ള വിദ്യാഭ്യാസമില്ല. ഇപ്പം 4ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഒരു പീരീഡ് പഠിപ്പിച്ചിട്ട് അടുത്ത് തിരിഞ്ഞ് ചെന്ന് 5ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഒരു പീരീഡ്, 6ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഒരു പീരീഡ്, 7ാം ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഒരു പീരീഡ്. ഈ സാറിന് അത്ര വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം ഇല്ലതാണ്. അപ്പം ഇവർ വലിയ ക്ലാസ്സിലേക്ക് പോകുമ്പം ഇവർക്ക് മറ്റുള്ള കുട്ടികളുമായിട്ട് പിടിച്ചു നിൽക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നില്ല. ഇവർക്ക് അത്ര കഴിവില്ല. അപ്പം അവരോടൊത്തിരിക്കാൻ, അപ്പം ഇവർക്ക് പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റാതെ ഡിപ്രഷനായിട്ട് തിരിച്ചു വരികയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. വീട്ടിലേക്ക് വന്നു പഠിത്തം നിർത്തി പഴയ ജോലിക്ക് തന്നെ അവർ പോകാൻ തുടങ്ങും. അപ്പം നമ്മൾ കോളേജിൽ നിന്ന് ഇപ്പോൾ ഓൺലൈനായിട്ട് അവർ ക്ലാസ് കൊടുക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങി. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് അത് ഇമ്പ്രൂവ് കാണാൻ തുടങ്ങി. അത് മറ്റുള്ളവർ ചിന്തിച്ചാലും ഇതുപോലെ മറ്റു പല സംഘടനകൾ കോളേജുകൾ ശ്രമിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇവരെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് ഓൺലൈനായിട്ട് ക്ലാസ് കൊടുക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും. പക്ഷെ ചിലവർക്ക് നമ്മൾ ഫോൺ മേടിച്ച് കൊടുത്തപ്പോൾ അവിടെ നെറ്റ് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഫോൺ മേടിച്ച് കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് ഫലമാകുന്നില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, നമ്മൾ എവിടെയെങ്കിലും TV വെച്ചിട്ട് ആ TV അപ്പോൾ കുട്ടികൾ അത് നോക്കിയിട്ട് പഠിക്കും. അല്ല നെറ്റ് കിട്ടാൻ ആ സ്ഥലത്ത് മലയുടെ പുറത്ത് കഷ്ടമായിരിക്കും. അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുന്നത് നന്നായിരിക്കുമെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. എന്തായാലും ഗ്രാമത്തിലേക്ക് ഡോക്ടർമാരെയും അധ്യാപകരെയും കിട്ടാൻ വിഷമമാണ്. അപ്പം നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെയെല്ലാം ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഓൺലൈൻ പോലെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുക. രണ്ടാമത് നമ്മൾ മൊബൈൽ വണ്ടി ഉണ്ടാക്കി മെഡിക്കൽ ക്യാമ്പ് എടുത്ത് ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ പോയിട്ട് പിന്നെ ടെലിമെഡിസിൻ എന്നുള്ള അതും ചെയ്താൽ, ഗവൺമെൻറ് ചെയ്താൽ ഇവരെയൊക്കെ ചികിത്സ കൊടുക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുമെന്നാണ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത്. ഈ ഗ്രാമങ്ങളിൽ നമ്മൾ നേരിട്ട് എന്തായാലൊന്നും അവരിങ്ങോട്ട് വരത്തില്ല. നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് ഈ ദത്തെടുത്ത ഗ്രാമങ്ങളെല്ലാം ഇപ്പം 108 കൂടുതൽ ഗ്രാമങ്ങൾ ദത്തെടുത്ത്, ഇതിലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ 1, 2 പേരെയും അവിടത്തുള്ള ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് വെച്ച് ശമ്പളം കൊടുക്കുന്നു. അത്രയും 10, 200ഓളം നമ്മൾ വേറെ ജോലിക്കെടുത്ത് ശമ്പളം കൊടുത്തിട്ടാണ് നമ്മളും കൂടി ചെന്ന് അവരോടൊത്താണ് ഇവരുമായിട്ട് പെരുമാറുന്നത്. അല്ലാതെ ഇവർ വന്ന് ആരെങ്കിലും വേറെ ലോകത്ത് വരുന്ന പോലെയാണ് അവർ ചിന്തിക്കുന്നത്. അവർ വളർന്ന രീതി അതാണ്. ശാസ്ത്രവും സംഗീതയും ഇതിൻ്റെയും കണക്ഷൻ കിട്ടാൻ ധൃതി കൂട്ടുന്ന മനുഷ്യൻ പാടെ ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആയിപ്പോയ പല പ്രധാന മേഖലകളിൽ നമ്മൾ മറക്കുന്നു. ആത്മാവായിട്ട് ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആയി പോകുന്നു, അതുപോലെ ചുറ്റുപാടുമായിട്ട് ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആയി പോകും, പ്രകൃതിയുമായി ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആയി പോകും, സ്നേഹമായി ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആയി പോകും, ഈശ്വരമായി ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആയി, ജീവിതമായി ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആയി. ഈ കണക്ഷനെല്ലാം ശരിയാക്കാനുള്ള മാർഗമാണ് ആധ്യാത്മ മൂല്യമായി ഡിസ്കണക്റ്റ് ആകും. പക്ഷിയെപ്പോലെ പറക്കാൻ, മത്സ്യത്തെപ്പോലെ നീന്താൻ നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചു, മനുഷ്യപ്പോലെ നടക്കാൻ, ജീവിക്കാൻ നമ്മൾ മറന്നുപോയി. സൃഷ്ടിയും സൃഷ്ടാവ് രണ്ടല്ല. സൂര്യൻ എഴുതിയുടെ ആവശ്യമില്ല. പക്ഷെ നമ്മുടെ നിന്ന് സ്വർണ്ണത്തിൽ കമ്മലും പാലുണ്ട്, കമ്മലും പാലിലും സ്വർണ്ണം. മറ്റുള്ളവരെ ഈശ്വരനെ കണ്ട് സ്നേഹിക്കുക, സേവിക്കുക, ഒരു മനോഭാവം നമ്മൾ വളർത്തിയെടുക്കണം. ജീവിക്കാനുള്ള വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം, ജീവിതത്തിലുള്ള വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം. ജീവിക്കാനുള്ള വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിന് പഠിക്കണം, ജോലി നോക്കണം. ജീവിതത്തിനുള്ള വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം മനസ്സിന് എയർ കണ്ടീഷനാണ്, മറ്റേ പുറത്തെ എയർ കണ്ടീഷൻ. അതിൽ കിടന്ന് ആത്മഹത്യ ചെയ്യുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ഉറക്കോളി കഴിച്ച് കിടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അവർക്ക് അങ്ങനെ അതിൽ ശാന്തി കിട്ടിയെങ്കിൽ വേണ്ടല്ലോ, മനസ്സിനെ കൂടെ ആശ്രയിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. മനസ്സിനെ ആക്കുന്നതാണ് അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കി എല്ലാത്തിനെയും ആ പരമാത്മത്വത്തെ കണ്ട് സ്നേഹിക്കാൻ ശരിക്കും വേണ്ട കൃപി പാത്രമാകാൻ. നമ്മൾ വളരെ സത്യം കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചാലും അസത്യം കണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. എല്ലാ സാഹചര്യങ്ങളും കൃപയ്ക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ഭാഗത്ത് നിന്ന് എല്ലാം ഉണ്ടാവും. ഈ പ്രപഞ്ചത്തിനൊരു താളമാണ്. ഈ വിശ്വത്തിനും അതിലെ സകല ജീവിതത്തിനും തമ്മിൽ വേദ്യമായ ബന്ധം, പരസ്പരം ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് കിടന്ന നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് പോലാണ് ഈശ്വരൻ. 4 പേര് ചേർന്ന് പിടിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന അവരുടെ കോണുകളിൽ ഒരു ചലനം ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന തരങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരുടെയും പ്രതിഫലം. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അറിഞ്ഞോ അറിയാതെയോ ഒറ്റയായ കൂട്ടമായോ ചെയ്ത എല്ലാ കർമ്മങ്ങളും ഈ വിഷമാകുന്ന വരയുടെ കോണിൽ പ്രതിഫലിക്കും. അവരും മാറി നമ്മൾ മാറാൻ, അവർ മാറിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ മാറിയാൽ ഈ മാറ്റം കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ സാധിക്കും. പണ്ടും ഇന്നും എന്നും ഭാരതമണ്ണിന്റെ മന്ത്രം ലോകമേ ഒരു തറവാട് എന്നുള്ള ഈ സംരംഭം ലോക ജനതയെ മാറി ചിന്തിക്കാൻ പ്രേരിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ഒന്നാകട്ടെ. ആ പരിവർത്തനത്തിന് പുതിയൊരു ദീപനാളം നമുക്കിവിടെ തെളിയിക്കാം. അതിനുള്ള ലോകമെമ്പാടുമുള്ള എണ്ണമറ്റ പ്രകാശനാളങ്ങൾ രാജ്വല്യമാകട്ടെ. അടഞ്ഞ മാനവ ഹൃദയങ്ങളെ അത് മലർക്കെ തുറക്കട്ടെ. അതിന്റെ പ്രകാശം ലോകമെമ്പാടും വരക്കട്ടെ. കൃപ മക്കളെ അനുഗ്രഹിക്കട്ടെ.
For blessing us with her timeless wisdom through this message. Amma's words remind us that just as nature gives unconditionally, Amma's words remind us that just as nature gives unconditionally, we too must live with compassion, responsibility, and balance. Thank you once again, Amma, for guiding us on this path of harmony with nature and humanity. It is now my honor to invite Dr. Tim Curtis, Director of the UNESCO Office in New Delhi and UNESCO representative to India, Bhutan, Maldives, and Sri Lanka, to deliver the inaugural address. Dr. Curtis has been at the forefront of UNESCO's initiatives in fostering cultural preservation, education, and sustainable development across the globe. We are truly privileged to have his presence with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Tim Curtis.
Thank you. Srimata Amrita Nanda Maya Devi, Chancellor of Amrita Vishwa, Vidyapeetham, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, faculty members, students, friends, international experts, it really is a pleasure and a privilege for me to be here today to join you on this special occasion. And on behalf of UNESCO, I do wish to extend our warmest greetings to all of you at Amrita University, as well as to all the participants gathered here for this international conference on sustainable and resilient futures. Amrita University and UNESCO have a long and now solid relationship, which can be evident in the fact that Amrita hosts no less than 3 UNESCO chairs. One on experiential learning for sustainable development, another on gender equality and women's empowerment, and very recently, the latest 3rd chair on assistive technologies in inclusion, communication, and education. So this year's theme, experiential learning, inclusiveness, and sustainable innovation, really does speak directly to the heart of UNESCO's mission and to, of course, the global agenda we're all working collectively on to advancing the Sustainable Development Goals. At UNESCO, we are convinced that education is not only a fundamental human right, but probably the single most powerful force we can use to shape a better future. A future that must be inclusive, a future that must be sustainable, and a future that needs to be built on the values of equity, empathy, and innovation. And that, for example, is why at UNESCO we have a category 1 center, what we call for Education, the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Education for Peace and Sustainable Development, hosted by the Government of India, but working regionally on social and emotional learning, an approach, of course, that is closely linked to experiential learning. And social SEL, what we call SEL, is a holistic approach to pedagogy that seeks to nurture empathy, resilience, and kindness, as well as just learning. It acknowledges that learning is not just with the brain, it is with the body, it is with the emotions. And these are skills that are going to be more important and as important as academic knowledge in preparing young people to, sorry, I'm supposed to do the slides, in preparing young people to face the challenges of the 21st century. But we're also seeking to advance initiatives that bring environmental sustainability more deeply into education systems. And there was a decade for Education for Sustainable Development, which has now led through the to what we call the Greening Education Partnership, which seems to have gone into the broader societal approach launched by the Secretary General of the United Nations 2 years ago. And this partnership for greening education now mobilizes over 80 countries and 1,300 organizations, companies, private sector entities, to green schools, to green curricula, to green teachers, and to green communities through a whole of system approach. Because sustainability, we know, is not just a concept, as a concept is not just a goal, it is really a principle of interdependence between people, planet, between prosperity and peace. It means, as we all know, meeting the needs of today without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And it calls on us to rethink how we live, how we consume, how we govern, and how we grow. As the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres reminded us, making peace with nature is the defining task of the 21st century. It must be the top priority for everyone, everywhere. And that is why in UNESCO, we talk now of our sustainability programs as reconciling with nature. We must, going forward, make a reconciliation between our human societies and the natural world, and a principle that has really been enshrined in one of UNESCO's now long-term programs called the Mana Biosphere Reserve Program. This is a program that has recognized already for 4 decades that conservation of nature, humans are an integral, not separate part of natural conservation, and that the conservation approaches must work to bring together humans and nature to reconcile humanity with nature. One recent initiative we've just launched here in India is the Women for Bees initiative at the Nilgiri UNESCO Biosphere Reserves, in which we're working with communities, indigenous tribal communities, women of those communities, to both help with the biodiversity conservation through protecting bees and working with bees, but also to provide sustainable livelihoods through honey and so on. So this is an example where we really need to work in bringing together people and nature. I did mention the Sustainable Development Goals. I think everybody knows, we've seen them around here on the campus. But despite the global consensus around the 2030 agenda, the world is significantly off track. And in fact, only about less than 15% of the targets are deemed to be on course for 2030. Climate impacts are intensifying, inequalities seem to be widening, and conflicts, both visible and silent, continue to erode our shared humanity. So sustainability cannot be only about, of course, preserving ecosystems, but it must also be about fostering peace, about justice and dignity for all. And the urgency could not be greater. The role of education, of course, in there, as well as inclusive dialogue and innovation, is urgent, and it is central to achieving those goals. Today's world demands more than technical solutions. It calls for an integrated approach that bridges science, that also bridges policy and of course practice, as the title of this year's theme so rightly emphasizes. And within that context, experiential learning will be central. Because and I'm sorry, I'm not doing my slides properly. I apologize to everyone. This is the Women for B slide. And I'll come back to the next slide that in a minute. Sorry. By engaging learners with real-world challenges and community-driven projects, we nurture not only knowledge, but agency and responsibility, or as Amma has said this morning, compassion as well, which is really behind agency and responsibility. We prepare young minds to not only understand the complexities of poverty, of health, of climate change, or the dangers and potentials of the digital transformation, but we also prepare them to lead boldly in addressing those complexities. Inclusiveness and innovation, again, are not just concepts, but they will be the foundations of the sustainable future. Innovation, the third pillar of this theme, is more than technological advancement. It is about reimagining how we learn, how we govern, and how we coexist with our planet. Innovation, rooted in ethics and equity, is what will distinguish progress from just change. So one area that is taking the world by storm is that of artificial intelligence, a frontier where science, policy, and practice will converge and are converging. And recognizing both its transforming potential as well as some of its risks, UNESCO spearheaded the first global recommendation on the ethics of AI, the 2021 recommendation on the ethics of AI, which was endorsed at the UNESCO General Conference unanimously by 193 countries. And this is where, for example, partners like Amrita University are essential in the journey, linking innovation with ethical leadership. As I mentioned earlier, we have a long partnership with Amrita. We co-published a few years ago a publication called Braided River, The Universe of Indian Women in Science. And recently we've collaborated with our chair here in Amrita on establishing the South Asia chapter of Women for Ethical Artificial Intelligence Network. As centers of research and renewal, higher education institutions do have a unique role in shaping tomorrow's leaders and the solutions that they might bring. I commend Amrita University for fostering such a holistic vision, one that draws deep from India's deep traditions of knowledge while remaining contemporary and engaging the global community. This conference is an opportunity not only to exchange insights, but to forge new pathways of collaboration across disciplines, across sectors, as well as across borders. Let us use this moment to strengthen our shared commitment to resilient communities, to inclusive education, and a sustainable planet. UNESCO will stand with you in this endeavor. We look forward to deepening our engagement and hope that we can move forward together. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, I thank you for listening to me, and I wish you all a truly fruitful and inspiring conference. Thank you very much.
Inaugural address. That's a lot of information and so much of initiatives by UNESCO. We also have many overlapping research projects. We are deeply appreciative of your insights and encouragement as we begin this important journey together. So under Amma's guidance, both Amrita University and Mata Amritandamai Mutt have undertaken numerous sustainability and resilience initiatives. We now invite you to join us in watching a short video presentation, which is the highlights of these efforts that showcases Amma's visions on sustainable future. Thank you.
Humanitarian and spiritual leader. For over 4 decades, Amma has embraced more than 40 million people offering solace, strength, and inspiration through her simple yet profound act of giving darshan, a mother's loving hug. Amma's compassion knows no boundaries. She has traveled across the Americas, Asia, Europe, Australia, and Africa, addressing world leaders, policymakers, scientists, the general public, and grassroots communities alike. From speaking at the United Nations General Assembly and the Parliament of Religions, to leading dialogues at the Vatican, and as chair of the Civil 20 of the G20 Summit, Amma has consistently emphasized the importance of compassion and unity in solving humanity's greatest challenges. Through Embracing the World, Amma's global humanitarian initiative, millions of volunteers in more than 40 countries are working to create a sustainable and resilient future for all. In 2022, Amma was appointed as the chair of the G20's Civil 20 Engagement Group. Under her leadership, C20 India reached the widest participation in G20's history. Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham strengthened this global effort by hosting 5 C20 working groups. Under Amma's visionary leadership, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, established in 2003, has grown into a multidisciplinary, research-intensive university. At its heart lies a guiding principle: education for life, compassion-driven research, and global impact. The commitment to social upliftment has earned Amrita 3 UNESCO chairs on gender equality and women's empowerment, experiential learning for sustainable innovation and development, and assistive technologies in education. In 2013, Amma launched Live in Labs, a unique experiential program to bring solace to the suffering of India's rural poor. The program nurtures lifelong compassion in youth by immersing them in village life, where living with communities and understanding their struggles forms the basis for compassion-driven science that creates solutions. In 2020, Amma launched the E4Life PhD Fellowship for further research in sustainable development throughout rural India. It supports 100 scholars with a $5.1 million annual endowment. Launched in 2007, the Vidyamritam Scholarship Program provides scholarships to children of farmers who succumb to suicide. Amma teaches that nature is the visible form of God, and protecting it is our highest duty. Since 2001, volunteers have planted more than 6 million trees across 6 continents. In 2023, Amma launched the Global Seed Ball campaign, mobilizing volunteers to plant 2 million seed balls worldwide. Amma has also promoted organic farming villages across rural India, encouraging families to grow and consume chemical-free food, ensuring health while preserving biodiversity. In October 2017, Jeevamritam was launched, a $15 million project to make safe water accessible for 5,000 villages across India. In 2015, Amma donated $15 million to the government of India's Namami Gange, with a focus on constructing toilets in the poorest villages surrounding the Ganges River. At the same time, she initiated a $15 million project to build 12,000 toilets in villages across India. In 2018, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres honored Amma for her record contribution to Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. In 2010, Amma launched the Amala Bharatam campaign to improve public health and restore India's physical beauty. Each year, 100,000 volunteers undertake cleaning of public spaces, such as roads, bus stands, and markets. This includes the sorting of rubbish, recycling, proper disposal of waste, and creating public awareness. Amrita Shri, the self-help group initiative, has supported 250,000 women throughout rural India to independently earn for their families. Today, 15,000 self-help groups benefit from microloans, vocational training, and market access. In Kerala and Tamil Nadu, over 25,000 inmates have been trained in Amrita Yoga and I Am meditation, helping them find peace within. With a commitment to provide affordable quality care, since opening the doors of Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences and Research in 1998, Amma's organization has provided more than $105 million worth of charitable medical care, with more than 5.9 million patients receiving free treatment. Amma's organization has been at the forefront of disaster relief worldwide. Since 2004, over $85 million has been spent on relief and rehabilitation. From Gujarat and Kashmir earthquakes to the Indian Ocean tsunami, from floods in Kerala to hurricanes in the US, Amma's volunteers have provided food, shelter, and long-term care. The youth movement, Ayuth, active in 50 countries, trains young people in sustainable practices and resilience. In 2014, Ayuth Europe was recognized by the European Parliament for its impact. The beauty of Amma's initiatives lies in their simplicity and wholeness, uniting science, compassion, and culture to uplift humanity and nature alike. As Amma says, we are all beads strung together on the same thread of love. Let us each play our part in reviving Mother Nature and building a sustainable future for generations to come.
As we proceed with the inaugural ceremony, we now come to the launch of a landmark digital platform that truly embodies the spirit of today's conference. The initiative is Shri. I invite Dr. Harichandana to please introduce Shri to us.
Om Namah Shivaya, everybody. Today we are delighted to unveil Shri, Sustainability and Resilience by Community Engagement and Empowerment, a smart and innovative platform designed to empower villages with actionable insights for resilience and sustainability. By integrating crowdsourced data, IoT inputs, satellite imagery, and community surveys, Shri maps challenges across the themes of water, health, education, agriculture, skill, and livelihoods, translating them into sustainability and resilience indices. With its interactive geospatial dashboards, cultural and multilingual support, and policy recommendation modules, the platform bridges community voices and decision makers, enabling informed actions to tackle unemployment, poverty, and environmental challenges. It is now my honor to invite our chief guest, Dr. Tim Curtis, to press the button and officially launch Shri.
Thank you, Dr. Curtis, and congratulations to Team Shri for achieving this spectacular milestone. It's now my privilege to welcome our guest of honor, Srimati Uma Mahadevan Dasgupta, IAS Additional Chief Secretary and Development Commissioner, Government of Karnataka, who's a distinguished leader and policymaker. I now invite you, ma'am, to address the gathering.
Pranams to Amma. Respected Shri Mata Amrita Nandamayi Devi, Chancellor Amrita Vidyapeetham, respected Swami Purna Amritananda Puri, Dr. Tim Curtis, Shri Shaji KV, Dr. Manisha Ramesh, Dr. Ajit Kumar, Dr. Bipin Nair, Dr. Ravi Shankar, and all distinguished delegates, researchers, students at this wonderful conference. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here amongst all of you at the inauguration of this tremendously important conversation on sustainability and how we can build sustainable and resilient futures. We've already seen a very inspiring address by Amma about how we need, in some ways, a circular economy approach to environmental issues is not the only thing that we need. We need a circular economy approach to our spiritual lives as well. Agroecological approaches for sustaining agriculture practices are gaining momentum worldwide in view of the global agricultural sustainability crisis and the urgent need for a transformation of the global agricultural and food system, which nurtures all of us. India's approach in agriculture so far has focused on the promotion of conventional agriculture monocropping with a strong systemic back-end support. This has greatly served its purpose in the years when India saw great hunger, in the decades many years ago, when India's agricultural evolution reduced severe hunger and made India a food surplus nation. However, the current agriculture and food system has created the inevitable adverse impacts on soil, agrobiodiversity, environment, natural resources, and so on, rendering agriculture infeasible in the eyes of many and demanding a more sustainable approach. My state, Karnataka, is one of the pioneering states which has undertaken several measures to promote holistic sustainable agriculture. One of these is the organic farming policy. I'm delighted to say that Karnataka was the first state in the country to formulate an exclusive organic farming policy as early as 2004. This was again revised in 2019, incorporating special emphasis to millets, which are a staple crop in Karnataka. Under this policy, many organic promotional programs have been implemented, or organic farmers associations were registered for certification and federation. We have 15 regional organic federations through the state, covering 50,000 farmers and 41,000 hectares in the state. Further, Karnataka, under the state-level scheme for natural farming, has taken up the scientific validation of a low-input, low-risk farming practice and climate-resilient model, popularly known as the zero-budget natural farming. This was taken up in convergence with organic and recommended practices. We now have extended this under the second stage, covering 5,000 acres through participatory research, and the farmers of the selected project area who had adopted the natural farming system were financially compensated. We also have other programs to sustain our farmers and support our farmers, such as the Raita Siri Yojana, a landscape approach. I have to mention that under the landscape approach, we have decided to declare an entire taluka, Joida Taluka, in Uttara Kannada district as the first completely organic taluka of Karnataka. The focus is to promote Thank you. The focus is to promote sustainable organic farming practices, certify the produce for better market connect and prices, enable profitable organic trade, and establish a regional organic brand. Seeds are of fundamental importance for the global agriculture and food system. They are a basic prerequisite for its productivity, resilience, and benefits, for example, in nutritional quality. Karnataka has launched a statewide program covering 20 crops for the conservation and promotion of land races for a sustainable food system. Karnataka organizes the highest number of organic and millet gatherings of farmers, including 6 national and international trade fairs. We hope to see some of you, researchers, policymakers, students, and practitioners at some of these. We also have a digital initiative. We believe that technology is an important tool, and therefore we have taken up a task to integrate the data available with various agencies, including we have 4 agricultural universities, 1 horticulture university, and 1 university for animal husbandry and veterinary practices. In addition, Karnataka is a pioneer in the watershed approach. A watershed, as you know, is a natural geohydrological area where water from rain, runoff, infiltration, and evaporation is contained and managed. 75% of Karnataka's agriculture continues to be rain-fed, and therefore we are the second largest state in India with the semi-arid and drought-prone conditions, which is not something that's usually known, but it's something of great concern to us. 60% of Karnataka's districts are drought-prone, and therefore watershed management is a vital strategy. We have had early programs to integrate technology and research with policy and practice. Early programs like Sujala treated over 8.5 lakh hectares, benefiting 4.5 lakh households. Crop yields increased by 20 to 25%. Farm incomes rose by 40 to 80%. Groundwater levels rose by 3 to 5 meters, and soil erosion was reduced. We are now part of a nationwide program, watershed program, the PMKSY, in which 4.5 lakh hectares are treated in Karnataka using technology for geotagging and mobile monitoring. We also have a World Bank supported initiative covering 25 lakh hectares, targeting 21 lakh farmers. We have a strong focus on data integration through a digital support system and a national One Soil Unified Information System. Broader impacts of Karnataka's leading approach in watershed is improved groundwater recharge, reduced erosion, balanced water use for hydrological security. This leads also to economic benefits, higher crop yields, diversified livelihoods into dairy and horticulture, and stable farm incomes. The social impact is no less: reduced rural distress, reduced migration, and strengthened collective action through women's self-help groups and farmer-producer organizations. We are a leading state, I'm proud to say, in the use of the land resources inventory and the DSS, which enables data-driven planning and enhanced transparency. These initiatives have helped to restore degraded lands and build resilience against droughts and climate variability. I'm very happy to invite all of you to see how you can work with us in Karnataka to help our farmers and our women's self-help groups further. I'd like to end with one example of a recent sustainable practice which we took up in the last 4 years, which has yielded results remarkable beyond our expectations. We have been working on a circular economy policy for rural areas, which will be the first of its kind in the country. And as part of this, we were taking up solid waste management in our 5,900, nearly 6,000 village panchayats. Panchayats are the local elected bodies of rural areas. What we found 4 years ago, especially during the COVID pandemic and just before the COVID pandemic, was that mixed waste was being collected in an unscientific way. And it was being segregated by the poorest women, the weakest women from oppressed groups who had no other option. This we found was unacceptable for both reasons. One, because mixed waste should not be collected. Waste should be collected with segregation at source, but also because it's unacceptable to expect these poor women to do the dirty work of segregating mixed waste. What we did was transform the initiative itself into one. We brought a paradigm change where the panchayat signed an MOU with the women's groups, saying that the women's groups will now do the solid waste management end to end, not just the work of segregation, but also the work of collection, also the work of collecting the user fees, also the work of behavior change communication, by which the self-help group women became influencers. They also, initially, many of my young colleagues themselves said that this will not work because women will not come forward to drive the vehicles. I said, let's try. I'm happy to say, after 4 years, we have trained more than 5,000 women in driving the vehicles. 4,000 of these women are already driving the solid waste management vehicles. Each of these women has fought a tremendous battle to come there. They have fought obstacles of patriarchal norms. They have fought sometimes the hesitation of their own families, but now they are driving and they are a visible sign of empowerment. Additionally, this approach has turned waste management not into a dirty, unpleasant, undignified activity, but one which actually makes the self-help groups into micro enterprises, where the women themselves are participating in the important work of local governance, not only as employees, but as entrepreneurs themselves. This is one example where we took on a challenge to do something that was very hard. And we found that it was much more exciting and much more satisfying than doing it in any other way. I'm sure that this conference, which brings together so many distinguished and brilliant researchers, policymakers, practitioners, will yield many, many new learnings. And I look forward to learning more about the results of this conference. Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are very grateful for your presence here today and for sharing such valuable perspectives with us today. We now move on to the launch of the second significant digital platform, one that highlights the importance of preserving our cultural roots while embracing innovation. This is the digital platform on intangible cultural heritage. To introduce the platform to us, I invite Dr. Amritesh.
Om Amriteshwari Namaha. We are proud to unveil a pioneering and centralized knowledge hub designed to protect and sustain our sacred groves. For the first time, this brings together authentic data over 200 sacred groves, capturing details on the area, ownership, frequency of cultural activities, patterns of shrinkage, and the invaluable intangible benefits they provide to the communities. With its integrated and interactive interface, it empowers government, researchers, communities, policymakers, and conservationists to access and share data seamlessly, enabling evidence-based policies for conservation and sustainable management of sacred groves and other cultural heritage sites. Ultimately, the goal is to ensure that these ecological, culturally, and spiritually significant landscapes are protected for future generations while strengthening the communities that safeguard them. It's my honor to invite Sri Uma Mahadevan IAS to officially launch this initiative. Please, ma'am.
We also invite other chief guests to join in on this inauguration, please.
Welcome to GeoSanskriti, the geospatial platform for intangible cultural heritage. The platform celebrates and safeguards the living traditions of Kerala, documenting over 240 sacred roots and their rich cultural and ecological heritage. From daily rituals and deity worship to vibrant art forms and community stewardship, Geosanskriti brings these stories to life. Designed as a co-created open source system, it blends community knowledge, socio-cultural practices, and ecological data to digitally map and monitor sacred landscapes. By emphasizing intergenerational learning, policy integration, and community-led stewardship, the platform helps protect vulnerable cultural sites. Through the power of AI-enabled analytics, participatory mapping, and digital storytelling, the Geosanskriti transforms cultural heritage into actionable insights for conservation, resilience, and education, ensuring that the wisdom of the past continues to inspire future generations.
Thank you, Srimati Uma, and congratulations to the Cultural Heritage team on the launch. It's now my privilege to invite our next guest of honor, Sri Shaji KV, Chairman of National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABRD India. With his vast experience in advancing rural development, sustainable finance, and agriculture innovation, he's played a pivotal role in strengthening India's rural economy. I now invite you to address the gathering, sir.
So good morning to all of you. Pranam to Amma. Dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, students, ladies and gentlemen. This is my second visit to this area. First, around 21 years ago, there was a mention in the video which was shown first, the Indian Ocean tsunami. And we are talking about resilience from this university campus. I treat resilience as not just surviving any disruption, it is thriving in spite of that. And that was shown 21 years ago by this area, the Alapad area which was hit by tsunami. I came here as a part of the Reserve Bank team to understand the devastation it has caused. And I saw with my eyes what was the scenario then. And this community over here has been resilient, and they have come back, or rather sprung back to life, thanks to Amma and also the efforts of the people over here. I thank, first of all, the organizers for inviting me to here, this conference. Of course, the theme of this conference is very close to NABARD's heart as well, because we deal with rural development. Agriculture is an integral part of rural development. And without sustainability, without resilience, agriculture can't survive. We all know about that because of the climate actions in every part of the world. The gross cropped area is coming down. That means the area required to feed the billions of people in the universe is now shrinking. So we need to adopt sustainable practices for our future. So in that context, sustainability and resilience are no longer part of academic debates, but they are existential imperatives. I've seen the researchers over here are getting translated to practices in the field. It is very welcome, unlike many of the universities where research remain in paper. Here, I'm seeing a lot of such projects are being launched after the research is over. In this context of resilience, India is a natural leader because India is the largest country in terms of population, and resilient future is an imperative for the country. And India has a scale, India has diversity, and India has, most importantly, innovation potential. In the global context, the crisis, the world over, the crisis is converging, be it climate change, biodiversity loss, because we have seen one project where conserving biodiversity is a part of that research paper, where that calves, the groups of Kerala has been mapped, very good effort. We are having water stress, we are having food insecurity, we are having digital divide. So all these crises are converging, and it's estimated that by 2030, around 600 million people worldwide could be affected by climate-induced migration. There was a mention of migration here as well because of various crises The tsunami is an example. A lot of elsewhere in the world, a lot of migrations happen, but here people survive in this area itself. That itself shows that how resilient the community is. And as per me, sustainable and resilient future must address triple challenges. First is the environmental sustainability. Second, the social inclusion. And third, most important, economic viability. And in this process, we need to bridge both science, then policy, and also practice. In silos, this may not be helping sustainability, but all these three should converge. Where science provides evidence and innovation, universities like these are providing a lot of evidences and they are hotbeds of innovation. Whereas policy, which is in the realm of government, it provides directions and also enabling frameworks. And then the practice, which provides the ground realities and scale. And we need to converge all these three. And without convergence, the progress will remain fragmented and it will be, it will not be large enough to meet the needs of the billions. And in that context, this conference will create the bridge that turns ideas to action. Coming to science and technology, of course, it's in a world which need to develop faster, science and technology are very important. And within that, we have climate tech, we have artificial intelligence, we have Internet of Things, then the soon to be launched digital twins, which is also a technology part, renewable energy, biotechnology. So all these efforts are truly transformative, but then they need to be harnessed with equity and accessibility. Otherwise, exclusion will happen. We as a country has fought financial exclusion through the largest ever banking program in the world. In 2014, we know that Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana was launched, which was aimed at including all people to the banking infrastructure. And 10 years down the line, we are now 100% financially included. But now that whenever we go with a newer activity, we need to think about inclusivity in mind. And here, the digital twin and also the other releases here demonstrates how cutting-edge science can empower rural communities. And coming to the next aspect of policy, I mentioned about science, policy, and then practice. Policies must incentivize resilient infrastructure, climate-smart agriculture, renewable energy, and green finance. Additional Chief Secretary from Karnataka was mentioning about how her government is working on these things. Government as a policy maker should be giving the framework for the science and also the practices to come together. And Karnataka government is a leader among the states in the country. I'm privy to that because we work closely with Karnataka government as well. And there is a need for mainstreaming resilience in every sector, be it agriculture, fisheries, water, housing, transport, or any sector. And not necessarily local. We need to have international collaborations as well, because India as a country is the largest populous country in the world. And then India naturally will aspire to be a leader. And among the global south, which is now affected by most of these adversities, this global south must have stronger voice in climate and development financing, because the developed West have already reached a certain stage of development, and the global south, if it has to reach that level, it will be energy intensive, and that energy intensivity need to be tackled with sustainability. For that, the higher cost is there, and somebody should foot the bill, and that's what we are looking to for international collaborations. As NABARD, we are collaborating with various entities, including the Green Climate Fund, the UN organizations, the Food and Agriculture organizations, the Asian Development Bank, all these, and the UN Adaptation Fund for Climate Change. We are the direct access entity for all these international activities, and we are the first among the domestic entities to access finance for that. And we'll be happy to leverage those sources for bringing in the most required capital. And the third, among what I told, science, policy, the third is the practice. And I treat communities as not passive beneficiaries, but they also are agents of innovation, because we have, innovation doesn't mean that it is only science. It can be in terms of constructs also. For example, we have, as NABARD, experimented with self-help groups. We are the pioneers in 90s, early 90s, when we started aggregating women as self-help groups as an experiential project, and which now is transformed into a national level project, including including all of the women in the country as National Rural Livelihood Mission. Right now, we stand at around 1.2 crore of self-help groups, with close to around 120 crore people, which are women beneficiaries. And that is one innovation, the social innovation which we did. And we actually moved on in aggregating farmers. So we were the first to do the farmer producer organization concept. And right now, the central government has made it as a national level program of 10,000 farmer producer organizations. And now cooperatives were pre-existing in India. Pre-independence also cooperatives were there. Right now, we are engaging with the cooperatives in activizing them, because cooperatives over a period have become little lethargic. Governance issues are there, transparency issues are there. So as a part of the national program, we are working with close to 70,000 of the primary agriculture credit societies in digitizing them. As we speak now, around 60,000 of the cooperatives are now digitized. Now, followed up with the digitization, we will be doing some sort of a business process reengineering. We want to make these primary societies as vibrant entities at the grassroots level, because I said grassroots level innovations are very important, and they are not just passive beneficiaries. They should be the agents of innovation. And all these, be it science, be it policy, the success of that depends on ownership of those activities. And then we need to build capacity for absorbing all these, whatever newer things are coming. And that also we need to temperate it with local innovation. Otherwise, it will not be acceptable. So as India's apex development financial institution, NABARD, we stand at the interjunction of finance, technology, and grassroots level development. We deal with the government in terms of policy. We deal with banks in terms of finance. We deal with communities. I said earlier that we deal with grassroots level development. And we are investing in resilience. Uma Madam was talking about watershed development. We started the watershed development program in early 90s itself as an action research project. And then whatever learnings which we had, we presented to Government of India, and which the Government of India has made it into a larger program. Now we are, watershed program by design is climate resilient program. At that point of time, we didn't have the taxonomy of any climate related activities, but now we are embedding the taxonomy, the nomenclature of the climate resilience and such other aspects to our programs. And we are also blending finance with innovation. We are supporting startups, farmer producer organizations. We are treating them essentially as startups. And we are also working with women and youth enterprises. Right now, what we are doing with the self-help groups are that after 5 or 6 cycles of finances which they have now reached at a level where they can now start enterprises, women enterprises from among these self-help groups. So now we are working with Government of India and also with different states to create a lot of enterprises out of these self-help groups. And we are also having knowledge partnerships. We work with many universities, including some projects with Amrita University. So these are aimed at creating evidence-based models. And as I said earlier, we are having access to adaptation fund. We have issued the first sustainability bond in India. And we are also blending finance, the blended finance aspect. The finance is not just market-related return or interest rate which we get. Finance is also about the impact it is creating, the blend of impact and the return. That is what we are aiming at. And at this point of time, we want science to speak the language of policy relevance, and that policy should be responsive to grassroots realities, and the practices, the grassroots realities must be empowered with knowledge and finance. A lot of capacity building need to be done. I think the university also is doing a lot of activities all across India. And together, when we come, the government, this academia, the financing institutions, and the local communities. If we come together, we can create a sustainable, resilient future which leaves no one behind. I think there is a quote also, Amma was also telling about world as a one family, Vasudeva Kudumbagam. India's G20 motto was that. So we treat the whole world as one family, and we need to emphasize that building resilient future is a shared responsibility across nations and generations. And for that, I personally, and as head of NABARD, is optimistic that with the platforms like what Amrita Vishwavidyalaya is providing, we are not just imagining about sustainable future, but indeed we are actively shaping them. I wish this organization and also all its endeavors, particularly this seminar, a grand success. I am also looking forward for the outcome of the deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that thoughtful address. Your words encourage us to look at resilience not only as an environmental goal, but also as an economic and social commitment. We sincerely value your presence and guidance at this gathering. Thank you, sir. Next, we move to the final launch of this inaugural session, the Digital Twin Rural Clusters for Climate Adaptation, an initiative that blends technology, sustainability, and community resilience in a truly transformative way. I invite Dr. Rahul to please introduce this platform to us.
Thank you. Good morning. Today, we are extremely excited to launch an innovative socio-tech platform called Digital Twin Rural Clusters for Climate Adaptation. This digital twin platform brings AI and advanced sciences to our villages. Digital twins of village systems would enable community to foresee future and make informed decisions. 50 digital twin rural clusters across India would enable building climate resilient communities where tradition and innovation would work hand in hand to build a sustainable future. We are extremely honored to invite Dr. Shaji KV Sir, Chairman NABARD, to kindly launch this socio-tech initiative. And I also request other dignitaries and Puja Swamiji to also join us in launching this socio-tech platform called Digital Twin Rural Clusters for Climate Adaptation.
Thank you, Sri Shaji, and congratulations to the digital twin on the launch. It's now time for the benedictory address. It's a rare privilege and a blessing for me to welcome Sampujya Swamiji, Swami Purnamridanandapuri, a senior monastic disciple of our beloved Amma, who has dedicated his life in service for more than 43 years. As the General Secretary of Mata Amritanandamayi Mutt, Swamiji has been guiding light in shaping its spiritual, educational, and humanitarian endeavors, touching countless lives with his wisdom and compassion. I now kindly request Swamiji to address the gathering. Thank you.
Oh. स्नेहालोकसुमोहनवदना करुणात्रानद नयनां रम्यां श्रितजनपालन व्यग्रां सौम्याम् अमृतानन्दमयीं प्रणमामि. Om Amrteshwari Namaha. My humble pranams to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and to all other divine sisters and brothers and our Amrita family members. Amma says this entire world should become like one family, Amrita family. At present, people are getting divided in the name of caste, religion, languages, nation. Amma tries to unite all of us with her divine love. She dissolves the feelings of division with her divine love. So this entire world should become one family. Our ancient masters, the rishis, they fell in love with this universe. It was not like ordinary love, falling in love. It was rising in love. And they felt like that the whole universe is there within in the subtle form. They could understand everything about this external nature without conducting external research because of the strong connection of love. Amma also feels that strong connection of love, so she can understand everything within, she can feel everything within. I remember during Amma's 50th birthday, people from all over the world gathered at International Stadium, Cochin, and they brought a pot full of river water from every country. And there was a procession of people with that pot, with their traditional dress. It was so beautiful. And finally, they brought the pots in front of Amma, where she was when she was sitting on the stage, and they poured the water in a big vessel as a symbolic representation of merging the whole countries together into one country. So in the ocean of love, we are supposed to get dissolved in the ocean of love. Amma says that is the solution for all the problems of life. And also during that time, every country, people from every country performed their traditional art forms. There was continuous program for 5 days, and one stage was specially for art forms. And people, they presented so many programs, cultural programs, and the native of American, Red Indians, they presented a beautiful dance program with the costumes of plants, birds, and animals. And after the program, the media people asked, TV people asked, they asked, why you perform a dance program with the costumes of plants, birds, and animals, even without being able to show your faces? Then they said, according to our faith, when God created this world, he asked all the celestial beings, devas and devatas, to become plants, birds, animals, to protect human beings. So we want to show the importance of plants, birds, and animals. And if you destroy them, means we are destroying our protectors. There is a question asked by the Native Americans to the modern world. Only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then will you find that money cannot be eaten. So shows it is our duty to protect the purity of this nature. Man destroys the purity of this nature. And sustainable future means harmony. It's about harmony. Harmony between human progress and nature, technology and tradition, present and future. The whole universe is like an orchestra. Each one person is like a musical instrument. Everything is like a musical instrument. But in a musical concert, if you want to enjoy the program, each instrument should be tuned with a master instrument. Each instrument sound is different, style of playing is different, but if it is not tuned properly with the master instruments, the musical program could be horrible. So even experts play the instrument, unless they tune their instrument, it is not enjoyable. Like that, we have smartness, special skills, intelligence, but if you do not know how to get tuned with this nature, if you do not know how to tune your body, mind, and intellect properly, then it is impossible to become successful in our life. It is impossible to enjoy our life. Amma demonstrates how to conquer this world with love. So there should be inner transformation. That's much more important than external purification. External purification is possible only if our thoughts become pure. Our mind should become pure. Each one of us are very powerful transmitting stations and receiving station. We transmit our mental vibrations all over the world. Sometimes our might become more destructive than atomic weapons if our thought flow is not pure. So we have to start from within. That's what the Rishi said. Try to find out the inner world. Amma asked this question to the scientists from Baba Atomic Research Center when they came to meet Amma. They asked Amma so many questions and Amma gave beautiful answers for their question. Finally, Amma asked them one question which made all these super scientists silent. The question asked by Amma was, what is more expensive than outer space? Amma gave the answer, in the inner world. What have you done to explore the mysteries of the inner world? Fountain of happiness is there within. Try to find the fountain of happiness within. How to purify our mind. What is mind? Never mind. Mind means flow of thoughts. And you should purify the thoughts. That is why prayer is important. What is prayer? Amma says, your smiling face is a prayer. Soothing words are prayer. Actions with love is a prayer. Action with perfection is a prayer. You can make your whole life a worship to God if your actions are coming out of love. There's only one difference between spirituality and worldliness. When you become a giver of happiness, you become spiritual. When you expect happiness, you become worldly. When your actions comes out of love or worship to God, action comes out of selfishness is worldly, ugly. So our action should come out of love. For that, first we should have positive thinking, positive imagination. That's why our ancient masters asked us to worship the nature. Amma says, nature is the visible form of God. Respect nature, worship nature. She is mother. We call mother nature, mother earth. All the names of our rivers are deity's name, Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Saraswati. All are like mothers for us. So try to respect this nature. Love, then get connected with this nature. Nature can solve all the problems of life. That's why our ancient masters went to the forest. Animals did not attack them. They protected them. Nature protected them. That is possible when you get connected with this cosmic force. Amma says, it is not because of our smartness we live in this world. We consume sunlight, we consume oxygen, you don't pay back anything, but it is not free. You are supposed to pay back something to this nature, at least your pure thoughts, pure imagination, because thoughts are so powerful. So all the actions are the product of our present thoughts. So try to produce positive vibrations around us and try to respect everything in this nature. We need the blessings of this nature to become successful in our life. And I remember a story. A disciple asked the master, Master, how can I become successful in our life? Then the master said, okay, you would. Then he said, it is very easy. I am only taking care of my food. Information coming through through the sense organs are also food. All these should be pure. Recently, when I went to Trishur for a marriage ceremony, I saw a board, vegetarian food and non-vegetarian food. And there was somebody guiding people. And the one man who was standing there, supposed to explain about this, he was a comedian. He asked, you need heart attack or cancer? If you want heart attack, take non-vegetarian food. If you want cancer, take vegetarian food. No pure food is available. So that's why pure air is not available. Pure sights are not available. Everything is impure because of the selfishness of people. So technology is useful, but we need a harmony with this nature. That's what Amma says. Amma says there is a solution for all the problems of life. Activate love from within. Because of the selfishness, people destroy the purity of this nature. After being with Amma for so many years, whatever I have learned, I can tell you in 4 lines. There is music even in silence. There is dance even in stillness. There is beauty even in ugliness. There is coolness of bliss even in the heat of suffering. Love makes everything extremely beautiful. Let us activate that love from within. Then we will be able to love the nature. We'll be able to respect everything in this nature. That is the solution for all the problems of life. May Amma bless us with that kind of purity to enjoy the real beauty of life. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. We are truly blessed to have received your guidance today, which will, I definitely believe, will continue to inspire and strengthen us as we work towards building sustainable and resilient futures. Next, it is time for the felicitation address. We take immense pride and joy in inviting to the stage our esteemed registrar, Dr. P. Ajit Kumar, for delivering the felicitation address.
Om Amrita Namaha. I most humbly bow at the lotus feet of our beloved Amma, the Chancellor of Amrita Vidyapeetham, Her Holiness Mata Amritandamai Devi, Sambhujya Swamiji, respected dignitaries, distinguished keynote speakers, esteemed colleagues, and dear participants and policymakers. I'm extremely delighted and privileged to address an august gathering of socially committed scientists, researchers, and professionals at this international conference on sustainable and resilient future, bridging science, policy, and practice. At the very outset, let me acknowledge that this creative gathering reflects the vision of enlightened minds who aspire to preserve our globe in all its beauty, richness, and abundance. When we speak of sustainability, our thought often goes to the environment, to the forests, rivers, ocean, and the climate. Yet, sustainability must also mean earning and ensuring a healthy world for the generations to come, where ecosystems are protected, where communities thrive, and where human life is dignified and precious. Resilience is what gives sustainability its strength. It means that societies, economies, and individuals are not only able to withstand shocks, disasters, crises, or disruptions, but also able to emerge stronger and stronger. True resilience begins with human being. A society cannot be resilient if its people are unwell. Physically, we must address the rising burden of chronic diseases, flood insecurity, and access to affordable healthcare. Mentally, we must acknowledge the silent crisis of stress, anxiety, and loneliness and plagues modern life. Sustainability in health focuses on building systems that prevent diseases, nurture wellness, and provide access to care for all. Resilience in health explains that communities are not broken by pandemics, disasters, or mental health challenges, but instead find ways to recover and rebuild. The measure of a society is not just in its wealth, but in its inclusiveness. Societal growth that is not sustainable eventually creates inequality and unrest. A resilient society ensures that education reaches every child, opportunities are not limited to privileged. The most vulnerable are protected in time of crisis. Growth without sustainability is hollow, but growth with sustainability is transformative. Economics and sustainability must no longer be seen in opposition. A thriving economy of the future will be one that integrates green growth, circular economics, and inclusive innovation. If we pursue only profit without responsibility, we risk ecological collapse and social unrest. But if we pursue sustainability with economic foresight, the benefits multiply. Clean energy industries, resilient agriculture, digital health solutions, and jobs rooted in responsibility. I also wish to take your attention on addressing the issue of ecological imbalance from unused medicines and similar materials going into the soil and returning back to the human ecosystem through various resources. Even as technology advances, we see a deterioration in human relations, families fragment, communities polarize, and loneliness spreads. Sustainability is not only about natural resources, it's also about nurturing trust, compassion, and unity among people. Resilient communities are those bound together by shared values, cooperation, and mutual respect. As our beloved Amma reminds us, in our approach to sustainable development, we should not forget that it is by strengthening the people at the base of the pyramid that entire edifice of society becomes healthy and strong. This message reminds us that sustainable progress begins with strengthening human bonds and empowering those at grassroots levels. Values and ethics form the unseen foundation of sustainability. If research is not guided by ethics, it may harm rather than healing. If technology is not grounded in values, it may exploit rather than empower. If policy is not rooted in justice, it may divide rather than unite. A resilient and sustainable future demands that value guided every action in science, in business, and in governance. Why is Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham at the forefront of this wonderful journey? Because our foundation rests on Amma's vision, a university where science goes hand in hand with spirituality, where research serves the poorest first, and where knowledge is used as an instrument of compassion. Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham has been vested with this responsibility to become its unique vision as the only university in India to hold 3 UNESCO chairs. Amrita has consistently integrated research, compassion, and community engagement. We recognize through Amma's vision on research that what we enjoy and experience today, whether it be electricity, medicine, or digital technology, and whatsoever, is a fruit of someone's research on some day. Similarly, what future generations will enjoy depends on the research and policies we shape together today. Amrita stands at the intersection of science and spirituality, policy and practice, ensuring that knowledge serves society, especially those at margins. Our shared vision must be a world where physical and mental health are nurtured, societies grow inclusively, economics thrive responsibly, human relations are renewed with compassion, and values and ethics guides every step. Such a world is not a dream, it's a responsibility. It's the essence of resilience, the promise of sustainability, and the inheritance we owe to future generations. In closing, I honor and appreciate the contributions of every dignitary, keynote speakers, and the participants here. Your presence is a testament to the global commitment towards building a future that is sustainable, resilient, and extremely compassionate. May the discussions in this conference ignite new ideas, forge lasting collaborations, and inspire each of us to act with courage, compassion, and clarity. May our beloved Amma's grace be there with all of the dignitaries, participants, and well-wishers, and for the success of this wonderful event. I remain in Amma's service. Om Namah Shivaya, Amriteshwari Namaha.
We extend our sincere thanks to Dr. P. Ajit Kumar, Registrar. Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful and inspiring felicitation address. As we draw this inaugural ceremony to a close, it's a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to all who have made this occasion truly special. As a gesture of our appreciation, we would like to honor our esteemed guest with a small token of our gratitude. May I request Dr. Ajit Kumar, sir, to kindly present a memento to Dr. Tim Curtis. I now invite Dr. Ravi Shankar, sir, to please present a memento to Swamiji. I kindly request Dr. Bhavani Rao to please present a memento to Srimati Uma Mahadevan Das Gupta. Next, I kindly request Dr. Karthik Shankaranarayan to kindly present the memento to Sri Shaji KV. Thank you all. Now, to deliver the formal vote of thanks, I am delighted to invite Dr. Bipin Nair, Dean, School of Biotechnology. I invite you to address the gathering, sir. Thank you.
Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Respected Swami Purnamritanpuri, esteemed dignitaries on the dais, distinguished guests from across the globe, dear colleagues, students, and friends. All of us will surely agree that this has been an inspiring inauguration for what promises to be a spectacular conference. This international conference on sustainable and resilient futures, bridging science, policy, and practice, ICSRF 2025. As Swami Purnamritanpuri so beautifully reminded us in his address, that real resilience begins when we anchor ourselves in values of love, compassion, inner transformation, and harmony with nature. Your words and your presence here, Swamiji, are not only a blessing, but also a guiding light for the work that lies ahead of us in this conference. Thank you for elevating this gathering with your dignified presence and wisdom. Thank you, Swamiji. We are deeply grateful to our chief guest, Dr. Tim Curtis, Director of the UNESCO and office in Delhi. And Dr. Curtis, your address today emphasized how sustainability is not merely a scientific or policy agenda, but truly a human imperative. As is the echo from UNESCO, building peace in the minds of all of humanity is the foundation of all progress. And your reflections on innovation, equity, empathy, and peace reminded us that sustainability and resilience too must begin in the human mind and spirit. We thank you for placing our deliberations here at ICSRF in the larger global context and shared responsibility and hope through collaboration and inclusivity. Thank you, Dr. Curtis. Our heartfelt thanks also go to our distinguished guests of honor, Srimati Uma Mahadevan Dasgupta, Additional Chief Secretary and Development Commissioner, Government of Karnataka. Your insights on the role of governance and policy innovation, especially with circular economy approaches, innovative agriculture and food systems, holistic agricultural practices, and solid waste management initiatives, especially with women's self-help groups. All of that showed us that systemic resilience is built step by step through inclusive development. You reminded us that sustainable futures will only be possible when no community, no voice, and no ecosystem is left behind. Thank you for that vision, ma'am. Shri Shaji KV, Chairman of NABARD, sir, your address highlighted the immense role of blended finance, agriculture, and rural development in resilience building. In India, where the heartbeat of the nation still lies in its villages, your perspectives were a timely reminder that strengthening our rural backbone, especially at the grassroots level, is central to creating a resilient future. Your commitment to empowering farmers and rural communities resonated strongly with all of us, and we thank you deeply for that, sir. We are equally indebted to Dr. Manisha Ramesh, Provost of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, and the UNESCO Chair on Experiential Learning for Sustainable Innovation and Development. Dr. Manisha, it is your vision, your leadership, and your tireless passion that has given birth to this international platform. You have shown us that it is through action that sustainability cannot just be taught merely in classrooms. It must be experienced, it must be practiced, and it must be lived. And that is evident from the novel platforms that were launched today. Thank you for leading us with such clarity and courage. Thank you, Dr. Manisha. Our gratitude also to Dr. P. Ajit Kumar, Registrar of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, for his unwavering support to the initiatives that advances Amrita's mission of compassion-driven research and innovation. At this moment, it is also only fitting to recall the words of our beloved Chancellor, Mata Amritandamayi Devi Amma, who has said that when compassion awakens within us, sustainability and resilience follow naturally. That is the spirit, that is the heartbeat of ICSRF 2025. All of us have to wholeheartedly acknowledge the tireless efforts of the organizing committee, the faculty members, staff, and volunteers. You have worked day and night to make today's event and the days ahead of this conference a reality. Your commitment is the unseen force that powers such gatherings, and we remain indebted to you. Finally, to all our delegates, scholars, policymakers, and practitioners who have traveled from far and near, thank you for choosing to be here. Your presence transforms this conference from an academic exercise into a vibrant dialogue. In the days to come, may we not only share ideas, but also build partnerships that will ripple out into real-world impact. It has been very aptly said that the future depends on what we do in the present. ICSRF 2025 has begun with that inspiration and hope. Let us now transform that hope into action. With deepest gratitude, I thank each and every one of you. Om Amriteshwari Namaha.
Thank you so much, sir. We now come to the end of the inaugural ceremony. Once again, a very, very warm welcome to ICSRF 2025. May the next 4 days be productive, fulfilling, and bring in fresh perspectives, meaningful collaborations, and innovative ideas that contribute to building a more sustainable and resilient future for all of us. We now have a small traditional welcome dance to celebrate this occasion. May I kindly request the dignitaries on stage to please take your seats in the front row. We have volunteers to guide you there. We invite the audience to please stay tuned as we make a few small announcements and some quick arrangements on stage. Following the dance performance, we shall take a short tea break and then proceed to the respective venues for the keynote addresses. Please stay tuned.
As we get ready to witness the dance performance, I have a few things to mention here. As we all know, this conference is carbon neutral. So we would like to stress that every delegate and participants who are leaving after a day or two or the end of the conference, please return your lanyards and also the plastic pouch of the ID card. We are going to recycle the same. And also, we would like to acknowledge and give a big round of applause to all our sponsors. InSpark, City Union Bank, Yes Bank, Omnis Inc., Beacon Enterprises Solutions, Amrita Technologies, Roche, Tractors and Farm Equipment Limited, TAFE, Kavi Healthcare, ESRI India, Dexian India, Matrac Inc., Inflow Technologies, Schneider Electric, India Cements, HP, Nihon Koden India Private Limited, Edibex, Wipro GE Healthcare, Kerala State Pollution Control Board, the Ramco Cements Limited, Planetcast Media Services Limited, Bureau of Indian Standards, Ashare, Ashok Leyland, C4S, and Rescript. Thank you.
Moving on to the dance performance, we have students from the Natya Ranga Dance Club who are performing a Bharatanatyam Varnam for us based on Goddess Saraswati. The composition is in the Raga Gauri Manohari, set to the Adi Talam. So please join me in welcoming the dancers who would be performing a classical Bharatanatyam Varnam for all of us.
Jum ri ta na na ta jandu jandu ta di ri ta jam ta ri ta na ta jandu ta ta jam ta ri ta na ta jandu ta ra dhin kin na tom ra thi jam ta ri ta na ta jandu jandu ta dimmi di ta jam ra ri ta na ta jandu ta jam ra ri ta na ta jandu ta ra dhin kin na tom ra thi ta jam ta ri ta ta jandu jandu ta dimmi di ta jam ta ri ta ta jandu ta jam Ari ta jandu ta ti ta tom ta ti ta jam ari ta jandu jandu ta timi di ta jam ari ta jandu ta jam ari ta jandu ta ti ta tom ari ari ta ta ಅಣ್ಣ ಅಣ್ಣ ಜೊಣ್ಣುತ್ತ ಜೊಣ್ಣು ಜೊಣ್ಣುತ್ತ ನಿಮಿತ ನಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಿಮಿತ್ತ ಕಿಟ್ಟತ್ತ ರಕ್ತಜಂ ರಕ್ತಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ತುಂಪ ರಕ್ತಜಂ ದಿ ತುಂಪ ರಕ್ತಜಂ ತಾ ದಿ ದಿ ತುಂಪ ದಿ ದಿ ತುಂಪ ದಿ ದಿ ತುಂಪ Tiku tak thinking na to. Adi jam hana jam janu jam himi jam pari jam hana jam jan jam himi jam pari jam hana jam janu jam himi jam pari thana janu himi pari thana janu himi pari thana takka tikku kidagada gidato takka tikku kidagada gidato takka tikku kidagada gidato na
ವರನಾಯಕಿಯೇ ವರದಾಯಕಿಯೇ ಜಗದಾಯಕಿಯೇ ವರನಾಯಕಿಯೇ
A huge round of applause for that fantabulous performance. I would like to invite Srimati Uma Mahadevan Dasgupta to please honor the dancers with a small token of her appreciation. Please, ma'am. Thank you, Natyaranga Dance Club. Thank you, audience, for being lovely today. The tea is being served in the main block, in the lobby between Amriteshwari Hall and Acharya Hall. And these are the venues for the next keynote sessions. So I request all of you to please proceed to the main engineering building for a small tea break, followed by the keynote sessions. Thank you once again and welcome to the conference.